Today I'm going to talk about my favourite perennials as a small space cut flower grower. If you're new here, my name is Ellie and I am an urban cut flower grower here in Gardening Zone 9B. I love sharing all things cut flowers, urban growing, and also how to grow the odd veggie here and there as well. Okay, so what is a perennial flower? So if we think of an annual flower like your zinnia or your cosmos, it lives its full life cycle within a year. So you grow it from seed, you nurture it, it blooms, and then it's going to kind of finish and die off. A perennial, they're going to come back for at least 2 years, and often it's longer than that as well. So a perennial is a flower that you don't have to sow every year, but is going to kind of come back each blooming time. Okay, so kicking things off, we have Achillea or yarrow. Now this is one of my favourite cut flower perennials. It is very easy to grow from seed. The seed is cheap. It's cut and come again. It has beautiful long tall stems, especially from an autumn sowing, which is kind of my preferred method. It is a cool flower or a cold hardy flower, so you can plant it in the autumn, but it also comes in such an array of colours. I kind of really lean towards the berries and the pastel tones, but I also tried out a terracotta colour this year and also quite a bright lemony colour, which was really pretty as well. Now, the great thing with this perennial and a lot of perennials is that you can divide it as well. So I sowed, I don't know, maybe 50 seedlings last year or the year before that actually, and I'll be able to divide all those going into spring this year to double my plants. Now, it really isn't a temperamental flower when it comes to cutting, as long as you cut it at the right stage. So you want to harvest it when all of the kind of individual flower heads, little florets are open on the umbel. So obviously before it's kind of past its best and it's dying, but you really want to cut it when it is all fully open. And if you do it in that way, I can get easily 10 days vase life out of it. And it also makes a really good flower for drying. So if you're running low on orders that week, you can just kind of cut it and set it for drying to sell later on in the year. Next up, we have delphinium, and I love delphinium. You'll know I have that one rule when I am growing a flower in my space, and it either has to be extremely productive or very special. And to me, delphinium falls into that special rule. It's first year flowering, just like Achillea, but it won't kind of pump out stems like the yarrow or Achillea will. So it's not kind of a classic cut and come again like your cosmos or zinnia would be. You kind of get one main cut from it in spring, and then it often has a second flush. But to me, it's worth the space just because of how beautiful it is. I love the spike element. I love some of the kind of speciality colours you can get and all the different tones that you get within those florets as well. I have just sourced my seed from New Zealand delphinium this year, and I've had great germination success with those. If you saw one of my older videos, you will see that my dog dug up my whole delphinium bed while we went away. So I have recently purchased some plugs from Plant for Life nursery as well, just to replace that kind of stock that I lost with a little bit more established plants. But yeah, they will come back each year. They are fantastic. I would just protect them from the slugs because slugs love them. Again, another bed that didn't get dug up by the dog, but I didn't put any kind of slug pellets down, and they just got destroyed whilst we were away. So I put some of the chewy slug pellets down, and they are actually starting to come back up. So the root system was still alive, and even though it looked like there was no sign of life on the top, they're coming back up. Now, again, I'll typically get a flush in spring and autumn, but I do have some in a full shade spot here, and they are just about to bloom, so kind of very early spring, late winter. Now, I would suggest looking into variety when it comes to delphinium because they can get very, very tall, which kind of rules them out for bouquet work if that's what you're interested in. They're just too big, basically. So I like the dwarf fountains mix, and you can get those in lots of different colours. But yeah, look for the fountains kind of breed of delphinium. They're really great. Next up, we have feverfew. Now, most people will know feverfew. it is such a good value for money perennial. It can be a little tricky to start from seed, but once you have a few plants in your stock, it's so easy to take cuttings. And I do have a video on how to take cuttings if you are wanting to kind of multiply what you have. It's beautiful. I haven't come across a person that doesn't like feverfew. Saying that, I know some people can say it smells funny. I've never had that, but I've seen on forums and things, some people think it smells like cat wee. If you're one of those people, let me know. But also, I think that might just be the single feverfew that sometimes has that effect on people. I really love the white crown variety. But yeah, all feverfew and just in single bunches. It's gorgeous, and it's a real good producer as well. So I'm going to get kind of a main flush kind of late spring, early summer, and then I will get a second flush as well. But really, because I don't cut it all at once, I can just cut through it all throughout the season. I can't remember a time last year when I didn't have feverfew stems to cut, even through winter. Like, it's very raggedy, but there's blooms on it. Yeah, feverfew, it's a good one. Next up are my chrysanthemums. Now, if you're looking to extend your season kind of into autumn, chrysanthemums are the way to go. And they might have a little bit of a old-fashioned reputation or a gas station flower reputation, but they are making a comeback. And just be careful about the varieties you choose and don't lean towards those kind of grocery store varieties. And they are so beautiful. You can get the beautiful spray chrysanthemum, the really gorgeous kind of focal flowers, which are larger as well, and they can be kind of your main feature in bouquets. And you can get them kind of summer flowering as well. So if you're looking to kind of boost your summer stock, Mavis is a really great summer flowering chrysanthemum, but mainly they're going to be kind of your autumn bloomers, and they're going to extend your season that way as well. Again, like feverfew, they're in the same family, very easy to take cuttings from. I do have a video on that as well. So chrysanthemums can be a little bit of a investment flower first up, but once you have those plugs, you can easily kind of triple, quadruple your stock all within the same season, just by kind of taking the tops that you pinch and potting that up, and then potting little bits, kind of cuttings and new bits that are sprouting up. And you'll very quickly make your money back on them as well, which of course is the goal when we're selling flowers. Okay, Eryngium, sea holly. Now, I love sea holly. I found it can flower first year from an early enough sowing in autumn, but if not, it will flower in its second year. And you just get kind of bigger and better stems as it goes on, I have found. I really like the kind of silvery one, and it's a really great kind of blue, but not a really harsh blue in bouquets. And blue can be a little bit tricky to get your hands on as well. I've had a few requests last year and coming into this year for baby shower flowers and blue. And there's not a whole lot going on that's blue around that kind of summer time of year for me. So sea holly is kind of one that I know is going to be consistent and kind of fill that colour gap for me. It can again be a little bit finicky to start from seed. I found it does benefit from cold stratification. So I basically wrap the seeds in kitchen roll, pop them in the fridge for a couple of weeks, and then bring them out. So I'm simulating winter for those flowers. And I found that the germination rate is pretty good if you kind of simulate that cold and that winter for it. So if you're having trouble and you haven't tried cold stratification yet, give that a go. You do want to be a little bit careful when you're picking this one because it is a little bit sharp. Next up is dahlias. And I know everyone's going to go, oh, dahlia's boring. But there really isn't anything that compares when it comes to that summer production for your focal flower. You can divide the tubers after they finish in kind of autumn and winter, and again multiply your stock. It can be a little bit more of an investment up front, but you will claim that back throughout their first season easily. I have made a video on my top favourite varieties, so if you're interested in dahlias, check that out, and also on how to do that division as well. Yeah, very simple one, but they come back every year, perennial, and just, yeah, you're going to get a lot of stock from them. If you're looking for another kind of woody perennial that is great for cut flower foliage, you've got this beautiful Viburnum Eve Price here. It is a shrub. It's kind of pretty quick growing, and it has these beautiful white flowers in winter and into early spring. But outside of that, you've also got beautiful greenery as well, which can be a really great kind of filler for bouquets. And this is just one plant here, and you can see the size of it as well. This here is my favourite grass, and this is Calamagrostis Carl Forster. It is a beautiful tall grass, great for kind of just garden landscaping. I added it when we moved here because the garden was very one level, so I just wanted to bring some height. But the kind of grass itself is really beautiful, kind of early autumn, late summer. It adds a really beautiful texture to bouquets. It's long lasting, you can dry it, and it's just something a little bit different as well. And I can probably divide these plants as well. They've only been in ground for a year, but they are pretty large, and I could say I could probably kind of etch a clump off the side of each of these. I also have Verbena, which is another great perennial, kind of interplanted with the Calamagrostis. It's not my favourite colour to work with, and that's why it didn't make my list of favourite perennials, but I really do enjoy it just as a garden flower. I wanted to give a special mention to a few other perennials that I can't comment on yet because I'm still trialling them for my zone. But I have mugwort. It was in its first year here last year, and it was beautiful. I loved using it in bouquets, but it wasn't as productive as I was hoping. It was in its first year, so I'll see how it goes this year, and I might actually move it. I think it likes a damp soil, and where I have it is quite dry. So again, I'm just kind of trialing if mugwort's going to stay. And the same with loosestrife. So I put some loosestrife in, some gooseneck loosestrife last year. So this is kind of heading into its second year, going into this spring, summer. So I'll let you know how the loosestrife goes as well. I'm also trying to germinate Astrantia from seed at the moment. So if you're lucky enough to be watching from the US or the UK, where Astrantia is readily available, it is not easy to get your hands on here in New Zealand, like a lot of flowers. So I am having to give it a go from seed, which I have not done yet, but I am trialing a few different things, so I'll keep you informed on that as well. Shasta daisies are another good one. My neighbour who lives over the fence there, she often just brings me a clump every spring because she has so many that she's divided. So I've got a whole nother patch of Shasta daisies to pop out. And then also you've got your kind of woody perennials as well. So if you're looking for foliage, you've got your Eucalyptus pittosporum here in New Zealand. And I've also just planted a couple of pussy willow plants as well. I really love those kind of soft buds on them. And I saw Joseph Massey, who's a floral designer, he made a really cool basket kind of mechanic out of them. So I'm wanting to give that a go, but it's just something that I've struggled to get my hands on through the wholesalers here in New Zealand as well. So I have put a couple of trees, I guess, along the border. My favourite thing about perennials is that it reduces my workload, or they reduce my workload. So I work a normal job. I've got a young family, so I kind of fit my whole kind of flower growing and selling in around my life. So anything that I can do to kind of streamline the process and reduce some of the workload is always going to be a winner with me. If you have your favourite perennials that I haven't mentioned in this list, I'm always looking to try something else, so please let me know in the comments, and let me know if there's any content you want me to create as well. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. I will see you next time.